Welcome back. Since it's a lovely winter's evening with the rain gushing down, I thought I would make a small video about some of the last things I did. Among them is what I would like to show now. I participated in the Kickstarter of Brush4Hire and got some quite nice terrain pieces and a painting rack out of it, and wanted to give just a quick and short impression of what I found, what I got, and what I think about it. The pieces themselves are MDF and came in clear bag plastic wraps. Each single section had their own plastic bag, so it was quite easy to keep track of what each piece was meant to be built to, which was very helpful to a still beginner like myself. The parts on the MDF sprues, I have to say, were cut very nicely. I had barely any difficulties of putting the parts together. All joints fit very good together, so I nearly didn't have to force anything into each other, so it was very easy to build. Up to a certain point it probably was also too easy to build, because the first building that I did, this small tower consisting of two pieces with the bottom half, the middle section, the tower extension, and then the top bit, I unfortunately glued together, while I should have probably left the middle bit only secured by magnets, because the internal design of all these parts is very nicely thought out. And simply by putting in probably two magnets, one on each opposing side, you could have them stick together very well for your normal play, and then have it easier to store them, but also to have them more interchangeable. The buildings themselves built again very easily, no big fuss to get everything together. It came out of the spruce very nicely. There is some quite nice detail already etched into the MDF boards, and from the design they also made sure to give you some 3D pieces, so that right from the bed off you have an advantage if you want to build and paint the different buildings and have something that looks quite nice. It's on the tower, you have a decent space on the roof to put your models, and it's quite nice terrain. The second piece that I built, I was a little bit wiser already, and so far haven't glued the top bit, so I can remove it very easily. And if I look inside here, it should not be a big problem to put smallish magnets here on the corner and then have really nice and interchangeable terrain pieces. The section on top should be a nice fit for the landing platform of GW. If you don't want to go with the plastic one, it should be a nice replacement. The only downside, if you would like to call it this way, that I can see is that I can't move the borders up and down, but for me that's a price worth paying. Besides the building, I also have a nice painting rack with some slightly wobbly camera work. I hope you can see it quite, get a nice shot at it. I'm not exactly 100% sure what the material is. I still think it's an MDF coated with some kind of plastic surface, but it might also be plastic with just some inside coating of cardboard, whatever. But it was again also nice to build, and it stores quite a lot of paints in what's important for me, a very small footprint, so that I can move it around quite easily. For me, since I'm using the dropper bottles, the size of the paint rack is pretty much perfect. If the bottles that you are using has a slightly different footprint, it might maybe be a little bit tighter, or it might be waste space if you, for example, are using the GW pots, which are less high, so you would lose out some storage space here, but overall I'm quite happy with it. From a value for money point, I have to say I'm also very happy with the offer that Brush4Hire made. I think all these pieces are quite fairly priced and you get a lot of quality and durable and good looking stuff for your money. So I'm quite happy to have participated in his Kickstarter, and definitely if I'm looking to expand my line of buildings, I will be looking again at his website and see what to get from there first, and afterwards only go to GW for references. Were there some downsides? I would have said in general no. There was maybe a slight handicap that all the pieces came without an instruction on how to build. On their website, for most of the things, they have quite easy to follow instructions on how to build. However, some of the buildings and, for example, the paint rack don't seem to be there with an building guide, but in the end it wasn't a big problem so far, and I hope I won't have any problems in the future there. So if you're interested in some buildings, definitely look at Brush4Hire website. I think you will be quite pleased with their offer. Cheers for watching. Thanks. Bye.